Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new game that I played for a couple of months actually. This is PathtoNowhere with Alzoy Galcon, and this is kind of like a brand new series to the game. And yeah, as you can see on the video, this title is called The Daily Lives of a PathtoNowhere Player. And yeah, I do play this game for quite a while actually. In fact, I played this game for the last 6 months as a game at the sidelines while Cookie Run Oven Break gets all the attention that I have. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, then be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss out anything that I put on this channel. Everything is free, you don't need to pay, and by subscribing you make this channel grow and flourish even more, which makes me happy so I can create more contents for you to watch. So I'm making this video as a sort of a test bed, so I want to see how well this particular game is doing on my channel. And I've actually recorded a couple of videos of this, and it was during my very first time playing through this game, and it has been sitting on my hard drive for the last, I don't know, 6 months I guess. I mean, to put an idea just how old that recording was, that was taken during the Dreamy Bubbles event, which was the second event that ever happened on this game. That was the event where Mass and Serpent was introduced into the game. So basically earlier I'm doing one of the tasks of dailies, which is dispatching my character into going somewhere and collecting stuffs for me. So currently I'm in the building the bureau section where I could interact with some of the characters in this game. Oh, by the way, the characters in this game are called Cinders, and one of them is Raven right here. She is the newest character in the game, although by the time you watch this video, Drea is already in the game, as well as Uni, I think that the woman was called. I haven't done any polls on them. In fact, I'm actually not interested in both of them, so I'm just gonna skip that through, because the news I've heard from the people who play this game in China, they will have a limited Cinder, just like Darren. So from here on out, I'm just basically not doing any kind of polls. So sorry, Adela, the character that is going to be introduced, the next one right after Drea and Uni is in the game. And also that applies to Carbenet as well, even though I have to admit she's very, how can I put this, tempting, I should say. Anyway, here's the bureau building, and as you can see, I have to gather some of the resources right here. And yeah, that building provides me with the energy to do stuff in the game, as well as the currency, mania crystals, and also hypercubes. Those of them are going to be explained in the next video. So if you like this kind of content, then yeah, I will put the video where I'm playing this game since for the very beginning. Now let's move on into one of the tasks that I need to do as a daily player, which is upgrading my character's level. And there you go. All I need to do is just upgrade one level, and that's pretty much it. And also currently the surveillance mission, which is basically the how can I put this? So every month, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 30 days or 41 days if I'm not mistaken, the game will offer players in the community a brand new costume, so they can purchase it. And obviously I'm not going to do it because, you know, I'm a free-to-play player. But hey, the options are there, and yeah, if you want to do it, just go ahead. You know, it's your money. I'm not responsible for your money. You are. So you might have noticed that I entered one of the game modes on this game. It's called Broken Frontline, and the idea is very simple. So every day, all the way until Sunday, there is a new boss fight that I can fight, and this boss fight rotates on every day. So if I play it on Monday, the boss will be different on Tuesday and Wednesday, although the Monday boss will be also fightable at Thursday and also Sunday. So basically that's kind of the schedule in this particular game mode. The idea is very simple. Here's a boss fight you need to fight, and you need to beat it as fast as possible. And also you need to beat the enemy, the goons, as you will call it in games, as fast as possible also. So the theming on this particular boss fight is this boss fight can summon much more minions than the Monday and also Tuesday boss fight. And the boss fight is about to be dead, but the fight isn't over yet because there's a lot of minions that the boss summons, and you have to take it out as fast as possible. Although judging by the place where the final two enemies got knocked out, it looks like we are going to need some more time to beat those two. And okay, there's one left, although nothing could actually... Oh, there you go. It's dead already. Okay, and yeah, that should put us into the... Oh, it doesn't actually improve our score. Okay, never mind. Essentially, that is a demonstration on how the boss fight looks like, although the boss fight can vary quite a lot, especially if you play the story mode. Anyway, that's enough Broken Frontline for a day. Although there are multiple attempts that you can do, I think the game caps at 10 every day. But because I don't want to make this video really long, so let's move on into another part of the game modes that PathtoNowhere offers. This is the Remnants of the Depth. This is like the final stage one, stage 5. Although I could just push the rate button and then you never see this thing, but you know, I just want to demonstrate to you the gameplay of this game. Also, if you are wondering where's the part of the strategy, the answer is that will be in the other videos that I will make on this game, because the current team that I have, all of them are way over leveled than it should. So I made this stage way easier than it should. And besides 3 out of 6 characters that I deployed on this map, that's like half of my team. All the 3 of them have the 100% compliance. That's equivalent to getting your cookies into 1000 points of friendship points in Cookie Run Open Break. And unlike in Cookie Run Open Break, the only prize that you can get is just a small conversation and a title as well. Whereas in Cookie Run Open Break, you get a skin for your basic jellies. Well, which one is better? You decide. Although, in my opinion, Cookie Run Open Break slightly gave you better usability. I mean, the skin for the basic jellies can be used at any time. And also, another point given for Cookie Run Open Break is the simple fact that raising the compliance point in this game is incredibly long. How long, you might ask? Well, put it this way. Well, when you played this game for the very first time, one of the characters, I will call it Cinders from now on actually, just to prevent confusions between the two. But basically they are the same. So basically, one of the first Cinders that you get, her name is Hekache. She's the one who is the closest to the chief. The chief is the person who stands at the leftmost side on the map. The chief is basically the equivalent to Doctor in Arknights or Teitoku in Kantai Collection. So that's basically us, the player. Hekate is, in fact, she is the first character that you get on this game. And I deployed her all the time. I deployed her on events, on story mode, on the Broken Frontline challenges, and last but not least, in this place, which is the Oblivion Pit. I never mentioned what is this place called, and this is the first time I said that. So anyway, I deployed her on every single occasions, and it took me 4 months just to finally make her into the 100% compliance. And that is something that I really do want AISNO, the developer of this game, to fix, as in making the compliance between the chief and the Cinders much faster. Now currently we are still on the journey towards stage 5. So every single Oblivion Pit level has 5 stages, so that's 1 to 5, and that separates by the level of your character. which character can enter it, and each of those Oblivion pit has sort of a minimum level into which your character can be deployed on each of the 5 Oblivion pit level. So we are ending stage 2. That was actually pretty easy, although it can be quite tricky because there's a lot of enemies who have some armor, and you have to use the core break mechanic in this game to break that armor, and you will learn about it on the next video when I show you playing this game for the very first time, just like I said earlier. And also in this Oblivion pit level, level 5, most of the enemies are taken straight from the chapter 8 and 9 of the main story. Currently, because of AISNO still making the story still ongoing, and right now it's at chapter 12, and I might make videos of that, me playing the story mode from the very beginning as well. And because in the current Cinders that I'm using, all of them are like way over leveled than it should. I'm going to use my lower level Cinders in order to prevent the stages becoming way too easy, and I misadvertised this game as being way too easy, and to be honest, it isn't. Because my girlfriend, who also played Arknights as well, I don't play Arknights for, I don't know, since the game was launched, and she played this game and she concluded that this game was harder compared to Arknights because this game, there are some rules in this game which limits what you can do, and that limitations made this game much more difficult than Arknights. And speaking of Arknights, this game, when this game was released globally, people look at this game and then they think it's another Arknights clone. And the only thing that is similar to Arknights is basically both games are tower defense game, and that's pretty much it. However, PathtoNowhere has a bunch of rules that, as I said earlier, makes this game much more difficult compared to Arknights. Well, there is some of the differences, but I'm just going to tell you 2 of them. So first of all, you can only deploy 6 Cinders in every battle. So if a Cinder dies, then it's basically you have 1 less member on your team. And the other part is, you see the battlefield that we are fighting so far. You must have noticed there is no elevated place like in Arknights, where some characters can take advantage of that. Oh, and by the way, I'm changing some of the Cinders into another Cinders that I leveled up, because some of the Cinders that I used throughout this video are similar, so I just want to give other Cinders time to shine on this video, basically. So, where was I? Yes, the elevated places. There are some characters, as I said earlier, in Arknights who can take advantage of that. There are some more things that make PathtoNowhere much more difficult to Arknights, but I will tell you more about it when I show you my very first time playing this game. And this just so happened to be the shortest stage in the entire Oblivion pit, especially at level 5 of it, because the map is this battlefield only lasts for like 30 seconds. You can actually make it lower down to 26 seconds. I did once get that 26 seconds, and although I never been able to replicate that ever since. Anyway, we come up to the final boss of the Oblivion pit, stage 5. This, I don't know what in the world is this, but hey, it's a boss fight that we got to kill it, because the boss is the objective. So in this stage, I'm keeping Nox and She. That's the 2 characters right at the very front of it. And last but not least, I'm switching Darren into Labyrinth, simply because I want to give Labyrinth some time to shine on this video, because so far I haven't deployed her actually. Although despite her being a B class Cinder, she's like one of the best Cinder in this game. Like in certain conditions, she can be rivaling as class Cinders, so and that's about it actually. Oh yes, there's one thing that I haven't mentioned yet, the classes of the Cinders. So the Cinders in this game have two classes, sorry, not two, three classes. Those are the B class, A class, and last but not least, the S class. And don't be fooled because it's a B class, and usually people think B class is not as good as the A class or even the S class, but on some occasions B class can be as good as the S class. Like for example, I bring Shay throughout this entire video and just to show you how good he actually is. Oh, if you're wondering which one is Shay, then the answer is the characters on the bottom right there, and that's the one who does the ultimate skill. As well as EMP, that's the archer girl on the bottom right there, who just did the ultimate skill that she has. And yeah, and the great news is you can get them in the story mode without any use of gacha at all. Anyway, that wraps up the... Oh, there's one more enemy left to be assaulted. Oh, there's another one. So yep, that's the end of the Oblivion Pit stage number 5. I conquered every single stages there, and let's move on into another part that is currently at the Oblivion Pit, which is the arrow on the bottom there. So this demonstration that I'm about to show you is just to show how crazy PathtoNowhere battlefield would look like. I mean, this particular battle, I can only deploy 2 Cinders instead of the usual 6. Why? Well, it is pretty simple. It's because this stage can be conquered with just using 2 Cinders, which is Nox and Labyrinth. The Labyrinth is the one who look like a maid, and then the Nox, which is the girl using the black coat. So in order to explain how this stage goes, it's important to remember something that this game introduced called the core breaking mechanic. So you might have seen these Cinders have 2 bars. At the top is the health bar, that's the green one, and also the bottom one, which is the blue one, which is called the energy / mana power. So when it's got into the maximum possibility, it turns into purple, in which the Cinders can execute their ultimate. And you might have noticed that there are some enemies which there is the red bar, which is represents their health, and the bottom one, which has the shape of a yellow diamond. So basically that's their core essentially. Imagine that it's like an armor to them. So if we don't break that armor, they will get a buff in their defense. However, there are some Cinders in this game which can break their armor, and that causes them to get the extra damage debuff, and also their armor is also gone, and that also caused them to like get stunned. And it just so happens that both Labyrinth and Nox can break the cores of the enemy, their armor. Although in the case of Nox, you have to invest quite a lot in her. You have to make her all the way into a very specific level, which in this case, and that also applies to every single Cinders in this game, which is the level 70, and as well as unlocking something called exclusive Crime Brand, which for Nox, it's added her power to finally being able to break cores basically. And also in this challenge, the enemies spawn endlessly, so the idea is we need to kill as many enemies as possible, and that's until the timer runs out. And now currently we only have 15 seconds left. And last but not least, you might have noticed that I give the Cinders some of my energy, as you can see on the bottom right. That represents my skills on the battlefield. And in this case, I choose this particular skill so I can transfer some of my energy into my Cinders so they can execute their ultimate much sooner than usual. Anyway, that's the stage ended, and let's see if I got a better score, and the answer is isn't. But then again, this is just a demonstration on how the stages of PathtoNowhere can be absolutely crazy to do. And at this point you might think that I don't have any energy left, so I can do anything else, and the answer is no, because the Oblivion Pit and also the Broken Frontline doesn't consume any of my energy, so I can do something with it. And what I'm going to do is to use it in order to obtain these coins and also the mania crystals, and that two items is really crucial to the game because it allows the player to upgrade the Cinders. And also please do not think too much of the Stormy Memories area because I will talk about it in another video. But for now, let's focus on the stage that most people will simply do it once and they will never do it again, and people just do it. They choose the rage section and just choose how many times they could rate the stage, and that's pretty much it. But this time I'm just going to show you how the stage goes. So basically the boss is behind us, and we can't attack the boss because the boss is currently on this sort of defensive mode, I should say, and during that defensive mode we cannot damage the boss in any kind of way. So, and you might also realize that the health bar for the boss is getting more and more and more, judging by the red line there, and that you don't see it wrong. It's just how the stage goes, and once we slays every single of these minions, the boss will wake up and attack us, and we have to slay that boss as well. And you might notice on the left side of the screen there is a counter into how many enemies that I have already killed so far, and when that goes into 25, the boss finally wakes up and attacks us basically. And I am now currently in 23rd enemy to be killed. Now it's 24, and when it goes to 25 the boss finally awakens, and now is the time to slay this thing or whatever it's called. And yeah, don't mind about the Cinders that I'm currently using. All of them are like way over leveled and made this stage way too easy than it should. Anyway, and yeah, the boss is about to get knocked out any seconds now, and just this one attack and couples more. When, oh, that's bad. That is bad. Come on. We need to avoid that at all costs, and we got the boss killed just before that boss released its ultimate attack, and that is quite bad if I got hit with that one. But hey, crisis averted. We got with what we wanted, and now I'm going to collect these what's called these coins. There you go. That's the name of the currency in this game. And this stage is relatively simple. So as you can see, there are two enemies, and these two enemies cannot be blocked by our Cinders whatsoever. And all you need to do is knock out just one of them and go make that particular enemy goes all the way to 0 before that enemy wakes up again. And that is why I'm putting Nox and Darren to quickly knock out the first one, and any seconds now that boss will get knocked out, and there you go. And now we are moving into the other side of the map where this boss is still active with its armor, and we are now currently trying to block it all, and oops, that's the wrong control. There you go, and kill, and the boss has no way of getting past that one. But the stage isn't over yet because there are some minions that is still spawning, and we have to finish them off, all of them, and then the stage ends. Now it is time to explain something that I should have explained much earlier, and that is what the top of the screen, what are those symbols, you might ask. So on the left side is the timer, and it counts how long the stage has already taken. Sometimes at some stages in the main story, the timer goes down, so that meant we have to survive for a certain period amount of time. The middle one, the middle left, is the number of small minions that we have to face in order to beat the stage. And the right one, the middle one, the third one, it's how many of what we call it as major enemy, which is basically enemies with more HP, more defense, that sort of stuff. The second to the right one is something called the Sun, SSAN, Sierra Alpha November. What that meant is our character has health, and that is the indicator. And if an enemy hits us by walking through us, we take damage. And if the sun reaches 0, then means we lost the battle and we have to start from all over again. And last but not least, at the rightmost one is the movement counter. So in this game, the movement of your Cinder is actually restricted. So you can only move Cinders so much before you eventually run out of moves. Although the benefit of that is we can move the Cinders into any place that we want as long as the stage allows it. And not all stages are the same in terms of how many movement that you can do. For example, there are stages where you can only do 20 movements on your Cinders, but there are also some other stages which you can do 50 of those as well. So right now I'm in the this shadow game mode. This is equivalent to the hard mode if you ever played a game with a story mode. And it's the same, but the stages are much harder, the enemy are way tougher, and that sort of stuff. I'm also planning to cover that at some point in the future as well, so if you're interested in that, then please do leave a like and subscribe. I've said that before, haven't I? This is the game shop, and earlier I entered the game shop because I need to complete one of the daily tasks, which is I need to buy something from the shop every single day. I don't need to buy like multiple items, I just only need to buy once. And so we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm AISNOGAMES signing it off, and have a nice day. Bye bye.